We've heard from hundreds of canal boat owners who have experienced problems with their paintwork from lots of different boat builders, and we're talking rusting, peeling, flaking, bubbling, just months after receiving them. So obviously we've had our problems, and we thought this really needs sort of addressing in maybe a little bit more detail. And honestly, we've had so many comments when we have done videos on what we experience with our paintwork, and basically it just comes down to poor preparation.
No, it is, isn't it? It's, I mean, we didn't know, did we, when we bought it?
No.
And I suppose one of our problems was we bought it finished.
Yeah.
So it was brand new, but it was sat there brand new, like car showroom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's your boat. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. Yay. And off we went, didn't we? We didn't know
No.
how it was prepared,
No.
what was done to it, how
No.
it was built. But I mean, our boat, it's just the paintwork has been the issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. And something needs to be done.
Yeah. So what we've found out, obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing, is, yeah, it's normally down to the preparation. So mill scale being left on, so that's almost like a fine dust, isn't it, after sanding?
It's actually a surface error on the metal. It's like
Yeah.
an oxidization after the metal's been prepped, which is great because it doesn't really rust.
No.
So when they're building the boat, welding it, everything, what it is, the metal looks quite black, and it will stay like that for a long time. I've got sheet work in the workshop, and it's got it on it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't rust. It
No.
actually protects it. But you've got to get that off
Yeah.
before you paint it,
'Cause-
and that's the issue. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
So it needs all that mill scale removing. Is that right?
Well, that you can acid wash it, but that's too expensive. But
Right.
it needs to be mechanically taken off.
Yeah.
You can grind it off, you can sand it off, but you've got to get it off
Yeah.
back to clean metal.
Yeah.
Once it's been shot blasted, metal actually looks quite white,
Oh, okay.
but you cannot touch it.
No. And that's
Absolutely.
that's
Even
something.
a thumbprint.
Yeah, something else we've found out. If it in general terms, the paintwork's good, but there's just like a funny little area that could literally be somebody like leaning on the boat whilst painting with their hand.
If you've touched that
you've touched
prepped
it.
metal, you have to degrease that area.
Yeah.
If you don't and you paint over it, 1 or 2 years later, it might start bubbling.
Yeah.
And even if it's a car and you've done that, it will be the next day.
Yeah.
The paint will look horrible in that patch, and you'll go, oh, do it all again.
Yeah. So this is like a huge problem. It's obviously there are some companies that just, well, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, in our case, it was definitely poor preparation, actually not enough paint. Because if you read the manufacturer's specifications about prep and then how many layers, there is no way we should have been able to see patchy stripes under our paintwork.
No, it's a lot of paint.
Yeah.
I downloaded it because it was Symphony Paints, wasn't it, that supplied the paint for our boat. And I downloaded their paint prep and how many coats, and it was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a lot.
And especially when, and I'll say it, Collingwood,
He said it.
I don't care. They supplied me the paint as a gesture to paint the roof, and yet they supplied me enough for 1 coat.
Yeah.
And then they told me, well, that's how much we use. And it's like, but I need 3 coats, which is what it says on the tin. And you haven't given me enough paint.
No.
So then they sent me a load more paint, but well, no, we're not stopping there.
No.
We're done with them.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be happening to people that are spending this much money.
On a boat.
Yeah. And in some cases, it's your home.
Yeah.
You know, you've sold everything, you've bought your dream lifestyle, and your manufacturers are basically just kicking you out the door, aren't they?
And that's currently painted properly.
Scrape it off.
Oh my goodness. That is tragic. The commonality seems to be when people then contact manufacturers because they're having issues with their paint, the sort of gold standard reply from said manufacturers seems,
warranty departments, or the guy.
yeah, seems to be, oh, that's down to poor maintenance.
That's a maintenance issue.
That's a
It's
maintenance
nothing to do with
issue,
us.
which is absolute rubbish. Quite frankly, they tend to give 12 months warranty on the paint, but that said, for us, we reported the paint issues within the first week.
Day one.
Was it day one?
Day one. When we picked the boat up.
Yeah. And what their ploy basically was to keep us hanging on for about 3 years, so that mysteriously there's been change of people that deal with it and no evidence.
I think
that
they just
could
hope
find.
that you sell the boat.
Yeah.
And once your boat's sold, statutory rights change massively.
Yeah. That said, statutory rights do actually cover you for 6 years, don't they? Was it 6 years you said?
If you're the original owner.
Yeah, so...
Once you sell it, if you buy a second-hand boat, your rights really depreciate massively.
Yeah.
And especially if you've got a receipt saying sold as seen,
Yeah.
basically, that's your problem.
Yeah. So basically what the big issue is here is a massive lack of regulatory body. There's no ombudsman, there's no accountability. There is nothing overseeing this at all. Not like the car industry, I don't know, the building industry. For the boat industry, inland waterways, there's no body at all.
No, all there is safety.
Yeah.
There's safety
Like your boat,
directives and everything else. So you're safe, but if all the paint falls off in 13 months, nobody cares.
No. Well, nobody cares if it falls off within 2 months.
Yeah, but they'll just blag you on.
Yeah.
But the only thing that when we found that you could do is it's citizens' advice, and then that then moves you to small claims court,
Yeah.
which will only take you to £10,000.
Yeah.
It's to get our boat taken right back out of water, painted, is probably about £18,000.
Yeah.
So it's still not good enough.
No. No.
But just going back to the maintenance thing that they tell you maintenance, because I had this one.
Yeah.
I was told that's a maintenance issue. So I said, can you tell me how to maintain my paint?
Yeah.
They didn't. I was like, what have I done wrong, and what do I need to do to maintain my paint? And crickets.
Yeah. Tumbleweeds.
Yeah, so if you're buying a boat, or if you've just bought a boat, contact your manufacturer and ask them to give you a maintenance schedule for your paintwork.
Yeah.
And if they say, oh, we don't have one, make sure that's in an email.
Yeah.
because then if there's a problem later on, you can go straight back to them and say, well, you told me there is no maintenance on it.
That's another
Just cover your bum.
Another thing actually is make sure everything has a paper trail, because unfortunately some of our conversations early on were over the phone with our broker, and so we didn't have
No,
that
we
documented.
were on a
but we
downward
did have
slope.
photos. We did have you know, time stamped photos. But yeah, so. So if this was a car or a marine boat built for the seas, there are strict governing bodies, there are regulations. So it needs to change. We need to have something covering boats, canal boats.
Yeah, not just that. I think that the thing that needs to change is the accountability warranty side.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to wait 3 years for someone to come out to then go, oh, that's not our problem anymore.
No.
It's not right.
No. Even when they finally agreed to paint the bow of our boat, they then made us wait another year before they came and did it.
It was, yeah, another year.
And they did it in one day, so you can't tell me there were enough.
And he had to go to bare metal, take mill scale off.
Yeah.
It's just, no. But we won't go on about our boat.
No, no.
Because otherwise I'll be driving to Liverpool.
So because there are no independent checks, no regulatory bodies, we know, you know, how people are then dealt with from the warranty side. We're not blaming all boat builders here, by the way, but
no, there's no names,
No.
apart from our one.
Yeah, but we have heard from various different people with different manufacturers. So, and like we've always said, the interior of our boat is fantastic.
Yeah, the quality, fit out, everything. The metalwork is, touch wood, been fine.
Yeah.
It's just.
So, what as a starting point, I don't know. We're feeling a little bit like perhaps we should try and do something about this. We're not sure.
Yeah, I mean, not our boat personally.
No.
I think something needs to be done. Because when you talk to the paint manufacturers, they'll say, oh, our paint should last at least 6 to 10 years. It doesn't. Not all of them.
No.
I know when you go to automotive and you go to, there's a company called PPG that supply a lot of paints, they guarantee their paint as long as it's been fitted properly, basically.
Yeah,
it's been
painted.
applied how
properly.
they say it is by one of their trained technicians, and they will guarantee their paint. Why are they not doing this for boats?
Yeah.
When it costs more to paint a boat than it does to paint a boat.
Yeah.
I don't understand it,
No.
and no, this warranty and accountability situation needs to change.
Yeah.
And we are thinking about doing something, aren't we?
Yeah. In our small capacity.
But I don't think it would be small.
No.
I think if we can get enough people behind it, behind a site, and drive it forwards, I think manufacturers will have to listen. Because if they don't listen, they'll be gone.
The other problem is there have been instances of people going through the small claims court, but the problem is the people ruling on these decisions know nothing about boats.
No, they haven't had the right people.
No, so even with, like, you know, so-called experts on one thing and another, they have no idea, basically.
No.
You know, there's been people that have had boats that they've pulled them out the water and the paint's just fallen
Flaked off, didn't it? It was all flaking off, and there was pictures for that one, and the judge said that was just caused by damage.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no.
No.
But that's gone.
Anyway, for now, as a helpful little sort of checklist for if you are buying a brand new boat, in the description we've created a little guide to like questions you can ask and what you should be looking out for. There are a few tips on there as well for things that you can sort of check if it's a second-hand boat, in terms of sort of paint defects or what to look out for that it might not have been prepped properly. You know, it's just created by us with like the research that we've done.
It's just something for now.
Yeah, something for now that you can have a free download, and it's there as a little guide for you, a little sort of mental checklist.
But we will move, I think we will move forward
Yeah.
and have a legal document. So if you're thinking of buying a boat and you've agreed a boat, you can give this document to your manufacturer and it has all the paint preparations on it. And until they sign that, you don't part with a penny. Because you need to know that your paint has been put on properly.
Yeah.
And everything is done.
Yeah.
And we want an extension of 12-month warranty.
Oh yeah, 12 months is ridiculous.
It's
isn't
not.
It?
12 months is no. No.
You get
No.
longer than that on a fridge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I understand for the, well, yeah, no, actually, Vitus is 3 years on all of their stuff. We've got the engine in there, that's 3 years. Gearbox, 3 years. Cooker, everything else is 3 years. And yet your manufacturers of the boat will only give you 12 months.
Crazy.
Yeah. And the worst thing is I can get a rusty nail, dip it in hammerite, and I know in 12 months it will still be fine.
Yeah.
2 years it might snap in half. But no, it's just got to change.
Yeah.
It really has.
And you know, if you're annoyed about this, if you're somebody that's been affected about this, and you know, you want change as well, then drop us a link in the comments, because
Please.
it's not a laughing matter. It's
Well, when you spend
atrocious,
hundreds of
really.
thousands of pounds, yeah.
Yeah.
And you treat it like,
And we've always been quite light-hearted about everything, but actually, nah, it's not funny. So let's try and see if we can do something about it, I think. Yeah.
and if you're a solicitor, contact us.
Yeah, that would be great.
Or if you know one, because if we do go further, you'll be very busy.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll leave it at that, and something to mull over. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.